need a little whimsy in your life? Now you just need to escape? Yeah, because I do too. And these books will help you get there, okay? This headband makes my hair look atrocious though. So I took the thumbnail, I think I'm gonna take it off. Hold on. I got it from Dollar General. So I'm a very cozy reader, in case you haven't learned that about me already. I love like cozy, especially cozy romance, but just cozy whimsical books. I love them, okay? I don't really like books with dark themes. No, I'm not into darkness. I get enough of that in America today. 2025 already is enough darkness. I don't need any more. If I'm gonna be, you know, engaging in a hobby, all right, I want it to be fun and whimsical. Okay, and these books that I've compiled today, I do feel like really give that whimsical, fun vibe. Some of these have like very little to no romance in them, and some of them are very much spicy romance books. So I feel like this can make a lot of people happy. So yeah, let's enjoy and let's get started. Number one, oh my gosh. Number one, we're going to talk about Tusk Love. Okay, so I actually just finished this not too long ago. I picked this up in a Books A Million, just randomly. I just saw it and I was like, ooh, that's an orc. And I love monster romance, so this seems like something I would like. And I had heard other like book creators online talk about how they thought it was like really cute and gave like Legends and Lattes vibes. If you know, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, so I picked her up. I was informed that this is based off of Critical Role, which is like a video game or show or something. I don't know. As a person who didn't really understand the Critical Role context and just picked it up as just a random reader, I really liked it, okay? If you're a monster romance reader, I feel like this would be like a good introduction type of vibe, because I will say our MMC Oscar pretty much just gave like glorified human man with some tusks. You know, like he was not heavily very monstrous, besides just being a big man who's green and has some tusks. It feels so inhuman. You know what I mean? Which some monster romance lovers don't like. They would rather, you know, the MC feel very non-human. But Oscar feels very much just like a human man. Just enough monstrous that it's interesting. You know, and I will say this author managed to hit, in my opinion, all of the monster romance key points. You know, they hit it all while surrounding it in this very magical, whimsical, fun storyline. And that's what I liked about it. It was like a combination of two things I love, which is monster romance and whimsical, fun stories. Our FMC is Guinevere. And basically Guinevere is like this elitist, almost princess type. It doesn't use the word princess, but she's very much described that way, you know? She's like higher elite. She definitely has resources and money, and is actually being sent literally like in a carriage or whatever to be married to someone else when the story opens up. And yeah, her carriage crashes and she gets mugged essentially. And of course, who is there to save her? Oscar very much is not of the elitist type. You know, he's not poor per se. He's just not, you know, he's just a regular orc guy. You know, it's just a regular old guy. He does think she's very beautiful and cute, but like he obviously isn't going to show it. And it's a very much grumpy sunshine type of vibe. Okay, he's very grumpy. She's sunshine. You have some of that tropey stuff in it. But essentially, he helps her to her destination to get married to someone else, and all through the meantime, lots of things happen. And I will say, as far as the spiciness, I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, this definitely had some spice in it. I would say it even had like the daddy trope in it, which I was like, oh, okay, the orc, he's our daddy. Okay, like it definitely kind of played with some of that dom submissive almost type thing, but very light, you know, I mean, considering the story, it's just lightly played, which I think was done really well. Like, I could tell this author really put in their research about monster romance, and not only that, but really, like, the way it was written, I thought was really well written. Like, the storyline and everything, I followed it well, and yeah, it's just a whole fun adventure. One in my TikTok comments said that that was pretty much just like Shrek, if you think about it. Shrek never came to mind when I was reading it, but when I got that comment, I was like, wait, that is a lot like Shrek's storyline in a lot of ways. So if you like Shrek and want something more adult, you may like Tusk Love. Overall though, as far as the whimsy, like the story building, like the world building and stuff in this, there's magical components in it. I thought it was really, really well done. And I thought it was so just cutesy and magical and whimsical. There was just all these little details of things in the setting that was described throughout that was so, so good. And yeah, Tusk Love is really, really cute. Next on my list is I Accidentally Hooked Up with a Vampire by Jessica Cage. So I found Jessica Cage on TikTok. She is an author who sells a lot of her books on TikTok, and she self-publishes. And I just thought her book seemed really right up my alley. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab one and see how I like it. And oh my gosh, is this story whimsical as hell? It is whimsical as hell. Yes, it is a very adult book. So just keep that in mind. This is a very adult book with lots of spice. This is a book with vampires. This is a vampire book. This is a spicy vampire book. Vampire things happen. The spice itself is also very whimsical. Like it is like, there is literally a part in this where they are levitating during the spicy actions. I'm not even joking. There's so much magical components that happen during the spicy stuff that is crazy, but so much freaking fun. And this whole book is just so much freaking fun. You end up finding out there's aliens in this, something I never expected. There's just so many twists and turns in this that make it so fun. And it is a romance story, but also there's a big storyline about like friendship and especially like girl friendship I loved in this. All of the side characters in this were so thought out. I loved it. Like I love that because some side characters for me just kind of lose me or not very engaging. But this, like every character, I just freaking loved. This is about Whitney, our FMC, and essentially she thinks she's gonna get promoted at her job, but actually she ends up getting fired unexpectedly. When she gets home that day and her friends take her out for cocktails to sort of like soothe her sadness, she ends up having a wild night. Okay, and she ends up accidentally hooking up with a vampire. His name is Domino, and oh, I love Domino. The fantastic part about this is plus size representation. Our FMC is plus size. Love that, okay? Domino was such a good MMC. Loved everything about him. I loved literally every character. I thought every character was so likable as fuck. Now, how she discovers he's a vampire and stuff is how she realizes there's all these magical elements in this world that she didn't even realize. And that's kind of where the storyline lies, of she gets wrapped up in this relationship with this vampire that she didn't even really mean to happen, and she ends up becoming the target of his enemies because they see them together. I will spare you all the details of the plot. Not only does she find out he has supernatural powers, a lot of other of her friends and people in her community do too, okay? And some just crazy things happen. It is literally a laugh out loud just adventure, and to me it's whimsical as fuck. Okay, there's just so much fun stuff that happens in this that I don't ever see in other books. Like if you want to talk about originality and creativity, this is 10 out of 10. And she actually there's a whole series to this. There's 3 books out. I've not read the 3rd one yet, but once I do, I might just do like a dedicated video on all of these or something, because wow, what an amazing book. You can find it on Amazon as well. Jessica Cage. Love it so much. Next, I'm going to recommend The Spellshop by Beth Durst. So I actually talked about this in my last video where I read 1-star reviews of books that I love. I'll link that somewhere up above. And I did feature this book in it because I was curious as to like what people would write bad reviews about this book, because I'm just so obsessed with it. And it's just the cutest, most whimsical, cutie little book ever. Okay, so I was like, who can be mad at this? Okay, turns out I was wrong. So you can look at that video if you want to find out. But anyways, this is like one of the cutest and prettiest books, by the way, of all time. Like, do you see this? The purple edging and stuff. Oh, it is so pretty, and it feels like velvet. It feels so good. But essentially this is about a librarian who has to flee her like city because of government tyranny, okay? And she has to go back home to her family's cottage, which has been abandoned basically because both of her parents have passed, her only option at this point, and go back to her hometown, which she hasn't been at in a long time. And when she gets there, she starts a jam shop. Yes, she starts a jam shop, her and her sentient spider plant. Yes, this book has a literal sentient spider plant. There's also a sentient cactus that comes in later. A lot of sentient beings in this book, which is really fun. There's unicorns, mer horses, all these magical creatures, these ghost things that live in the trees. Like, there is so much fun magical shit in here. I just can't even tell you. Okay, there is a lesbian centaur. Love that. I mean, there's just so many things in here that's so fun. The FMC is randomly blue. Like, she has blue skin, and it doesn't really elaborate on why, or like, is that just something that people are? It does mention one other time that there's like an older lady who's also blue, so maybe people are just blue there for some reason. So that was sort of random. Whatever, just fun fact, they're blue, but that never really becomes super relevant for the rest of it. But yeah, she's a blue little girl, librarian, okay? And she is definitely the grumpy one. It is Grumpy Sunshine as well, but she's the grumpy one, and the dude that lives next to her little cottage is the Sunshine for sure. I will say this book is definitely not the romance plot, even though it does talk about the romance at the front and stuff. Like, it says, it takes a village to open a heart and just one man to steal it. And it makes you think this is like a romance book, but it really isn't. Like, I thought the romance was like literally 10% of the book. Like, I thought it was so insignificant. And I will say the romance that in it is so light and airy. Okay, there's no spice in this. There's nothing intense in this. There's some kissing. Okay, but like, that's it. So this is like very PG. Despite what's on my channel, I don't just read smut all the time. Okay, I don't mind reading something a little fun and clean sometimes. Okay, but this, just the whimsy and cuteness of this cannot be matched. The author herself describes this as like a cozy, cottagecore book, which this is exactly what it is. It's about, I would say what it's really about is about community. That's what I would say, community and fighting against a tyrannical government. That's what I took to be kind of the main point of this book, not the romance plot. If anything, if the romance plot just added to her kind of learning how to adapt back into her home environment, because she was very much like a recluse librarian, kind of grumpy to herself, like she didn't need anybody else, like very, very introverted, you know? And if anything, the boy next door just sort of helped her expand, you know? But I mean, he really wasn't the main point. This is more about whimsy and fun. Okay, and it was just so cute. And the jam shop, it just made me want to go make some jam and hand it out to my neighbors. Like, it was just so good. And Kaz, the sentient spider plant, absolutely killed me. Kaz is very like sharp. He kind of reminds me, you know, Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, like Lumiere's personality. Kaz reminds me of that personality. And it's also interesting that that's another sentient object that's like come to life. That's what Kaz is. And I thought the fact that it was a spider plant was kind of unique. I was like, that's cool. And then a cactus ends up becoming sentient later. There's a lot of magical stuff that is in this. Like, just the cutest, most whimsical book ever. And it's so beautiful. The cover, I'm like so proud to have it on my shelves. So I want to talk about the Enchanted Greenhouse, which is part 2 from that book. And I haven't read this yet, okay? But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this and then do dedicated videos on the Spellshop and the Enchanted Greenhouse together. So y'all let me know if you want to see that. But as you can see at the front, we have the cat with the wings, because there are winged cats too. I realized I didn't mention that before. This freaking winged cats. Crazy. This is about another librarian, okay, that's mentioned in the first book, who gets into some legal trouble because of this tyrannical government. And I am so excited to read this, and I know it'll be whimsical as fuck too. And this literally just came out earlier in August. So if y'all want some whimsical books, I would just pick up both of them. That's why I decided to include it, even though I haven't read it. I know I'm gonna love it. But yeah, if y'all want to read this, so you could be prepared for my video coming up, go ahead and read it. The Enchanted Greenhouse. It's out in stores now. I've seen it everywhere, like all the bookstores. So yeah, it's part 2 for Spellshop, and I'll report back to see how whimsical this is. Okay, but I just know it is. I want to include this one as well, because I will say this one, I don't think the intention was to be super whimsical. This is just a troll monster romance, but reminded me of Tusk Love in a way, because this is an orc, this is a troll. A lot of their bodies and personalities are very similar though, okay? And they both kind of have the same whimsical setup of the setting that I loved. They're monster romances with whimsical settings. And that's what I thought about A Darkness So Sweet too. This is Emma Hamm, and as you know, I am a massive Emma Hamm fan. Like, I have her merman, of her merman series, I literally have them on my wall. I love Emma Hamm. Okay, I love Emma Hamm. And I'm actually about to be on a podcast, and they've already I didn't know if they wanted me to talk about this publicly, but they've already talked about it, so I'm going to shout them out. I'm going to be on Smut and Public's podcast. We've already filmed it. It's coming out in September, and we actually did a whole video dedicated to this book. It is a troll monster romance that has sort of a romantic-y, very fantastical setting. Why I think this fits into the whimsy category is truly because of the setting. The setting is called Trollvegan, and it is basically where the trolls live. And our main MMC, Ragnar, obviously being the main troll in the book, he's actually a troll healer. And I just love the setup of the Trollvegan world, like in this book. I thought it was so whimsical and fun. There's like mushrooms everywhere. Like if you look at the back, everything's like blue and purple. It's not described as like this hazy blue and purple vibe. And there's like mushrooms and like bioluminescence everywhere. And like, it was so fun to read the like setting, like the setup for it was so whimsical and cute. Or in it, there's even like a grumpy gardener man, and there's like plant magic. There's healing magic, there's plant magic, there's all these magical components in this that is so fun and cute. I absolutely love it. There's also a very strong component of female companionship in this because the trolls very much are arguably, I mean, it doesn't say this, they're arguably like a matriarchy. Like it's very much a female-led, like female-empowered type setup for like the Trollvegan world. It is so good. It's so good and so whimsical, but also sexy and spicy with a monster romance too. So good. Okay, if you like monster romance, this definitely is like enemies to lovers, which you know is saying something for me because I don't even like enemies to lovers. Like I almost always, with a few exceptions, don't like it. But I love this because Emma Hamm just does enemies to lovers exactly like I like it. So if you like enemies to lovers, you want a whimsical setting with still some sexy monster romance, oh my god, you would love A Darkness So Sweet. It is for the whimsical girlies, okay? Because it was for me. It was so much fun. I had a great time. Do you have any whimsical books recommendations based off of those? Anything you think I would like? Please tell me. I am very open-minded and I'm always looking for book recs. Okay, give me all your whimsical book recs. I want to know.